Cookies! Welcome to an episode of, I don't really have a name for this series. I guess it's just Jen Tries Something, where I'm trying something new and there's nobody else in the office. So today I am going to be attempting to bake Christmas cookies without a recipe. A lot of people have done these types of videos. I know the Try Guys have tried to bake bread without a recipes. I know people have tried to bake different types of pastries and meals without recipes. I decided I wanted to try to make some delicious cookies with a little bit of a seasonal flair. I do have a little bit of experience baking. I like to bake brownies, I can bake cinnamon buns, but I've never really gotten into cookies. I have a lot of ingredients here. I have pretty standard ingredients that you would use for baking. So I got butter. Wait, no. These are eggs. Okay. Then I got butter. The problem with this butter is that it's salted butter. I don't know if you're supposed to use salted butter with baking. I'm not actually sure. I've had salted and unsalted butter, and I don't really think there's that much of a difference taste-wise. I have some ground cinnamon and I have some ground nutmeg. The thing about nutmeg and cinnamon is that these ingredients are very, very reminiscent of the holidays for me and for a lot of people. I feel like cinnamon is just like so wintry and sweet, and nutmeg, if I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't really know what nutmeg smells like. I feel like it just smells like worse cinnamon. Ooh, spicy. It's kind of a surprise, but fun. Okay, I have your standard baking ingredients, okay? I got flour, obviously. I got plain sugar. I got brown sugar. I also got cocoa powder, which I don't know if I'm gonna need, but it's if I wanna make these chocolatey. I have some candied pecans, which are yummy. I also have baking chocolate and vanilla extract. I have found that no matter what you're baking, even if there's no vanilla flavor in it at all, it always will need some vanilla extract. And then I got baking soda and baking powder. I don't know the difference between these, so I'm not really sure what or how much to put in the cookies, but I know that it goes into cookies, right? Maybe? We'll see. I just want these to taste not like crap. For me, right now, I know that eventually I'm going to have to mix all of my ingredients together to make a dough. I've heard that it's best to separate your wet ingredients from your dry ingredients. I guess I'm just gonna start with beating some eggs. Most cookie recipes I feel like have at least 1 or 2 eggs, so we're gonna go with 2 eggs, I think. So I'm also gonna try and crack them one-handed because that's just like a fun little skill. Let's see if I can pull off a one-handed egg crack. Yep, nailed it. So there's some shell in there. There's a lot. Jesus. I did wash my hands, okay? So for anyone's upset that I'm touching, don't panic. These hands are clean. I'm gonna crack a second egg one-handed. This will go a little bit better, obviously, because practice makes perfect. Got it. Yeah, there is a lot of shell in there. Okay, so I just beat this egg. I'm gonna put in, whoops. I'm gonna do, how about a teaspoon of vanilla extract? 1, 2. I'm gonna put in just like a little bit of milk because I feel like cookies usually have milk. I know that they're not supposed to be a super wet dough, so I just put in a tablespoon of whole milk. Okay, we're gonna put that to the side and move on to my dry ingredients. I have a fancy little mixer. Cookies! Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Moving on, back to dry ingredients. This is sugar. I think I'm gonna do 1 cup of plain sugar. I'm gonna use a cup of brown sugar as well because I feel like brown sugar is commonly used in baking. Maybe about like 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, why not? Put that in there. I know I have to use flour. I think probably about 2 cups of flour makes sense. Maybe like 1.5 cups. I don't actually know how much cookies usually have, and I don't want it to be too dry. And then butter. Butter is very important. I think butter is like the key ingredient to so many baking things. So we have some softened butter. I don't want to put in a cup of butter, but I'll put in 1/2 cup of butter. So I'm gonna put this in, and we're just gonna cream the butter into the other ingredients. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. It smells good. Maybe a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Pop that in there. I don't want to add both baking powder and baking soda. I think baking powder is what you're supposed to use for desserts because there's a photo of cake on this can, which makes me think baking powder is for sweets. And so I'm gonna do like, I don't know, a half teaspoon of baking powder. Let's hope that everything is the way it's supposed to be. We're gonna mix this up again, and then we're gonna add our wet ingredients. I'm gonna add my mixture of egg, milk, and vanilla extract into the bowl. It's a pretty wet dough, which is a little bit concerning. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour just because I don't want it to be super sticky. So I'm gonna add maybe like 1/4 cup of flour. That flour, I think, actually helped a lot. It smells really good. It smells kind of like gingerbread because of the nutmeg and cinnamon, but not too much. I'm gonna cut up these candied pecans and I'm gonna add them to this. And then I'm also gonna include some semi-sweet chocolate chunks. So this is gonna be like a nutty, chocolatey holiday cookie. There's something really fun about just like making things, messing things up with your fingers. It does make you feel closer to your food in a weird way because you're literally all over it. Yeah, okay. I feel great about this. It's very sweet. It's a little bit grainy, but you can taste the nuts, you can taste the chocolate. I'm gonna clean this table a little bit, and then the next time you see me, it's gonna be time to put all of this dough on the baking tray. And I'm just gonna butter the pan so that it's a little bit greased so that the cookies don't stick, because I forgot to buy cooking spray. Ooh, okay, that's a lot of butter. From what I remember, they need to be like in tiny little balls because they're gonna expand and rise. You should keep each cookie about, I don't know, like 1 inch away. So I'll put him, it's my first cookie. There you have it. Look at my babies. We're gonna go pop these in the oven, and once they're done baking, we'll have some cookies to sample. Here we are, back on set. We have transferred my beautiful cookies from their baking trays onto this plate. On our way back with the cookies after we baked them, we ran into a bunch of people who wanted to try them, and the reactions were pretty positive. People had nice things to say. I'm gonna take a little bite just to give myself an idea of what I'm working with here. They're pretty good, honestly. Don't just take my word for it. So I thought, who better to judge my cookies than Mr. Sweet Tooth himself, and often a judge in our tiny cooking competitions, my friend Michael. Come here, Michael. Come here, Mike.
Oh.
Hello, Michael. Welcome.
Hello, Jennifer.
Welcome to my video.
It's an honor just to be nominated. I have no doubt that you will be the winner today.
There's no way I can lose this video, even if these taste like absolute crap.
I was so excited to try these. So I'll just say off the bat, beautiful shape, lovely color. It looks like a cookie. Oh my gosh. Jen, these are delightful. I will say I am biased often in favor of like very soft cookies.
Yep, these are hard as rocks.
These are rock hard cookies, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, I still like them a lot, which just goes to show how good of a job you did.
Thank you. All right, well, everyone, there you have it. Baking holiday cookies without a recipe. It turns out I did okay. Happy holidays, everyone. If you would like to recreate these cookies for yourself, don't. There's probably a million other good recipes out there, but enjoy your holiday season, be safe, eat cookies in peace, and we'll see you in the new year.